Hello out there in YouTube land. We're here doing the lessons of A Course in Miracles, and I'm glad that you discovered this channel and this video for right now. We're studying this beautiful blue book. We're going through the lessons. Today we're on lesson 19, and it also just so happens to be January 19th of 2024. And I was just texting with a friend in New Jersey, and she said there's a snowstorm going on. So I said, I'm going to do my lesson in my robe today because I bet there's a lot of people in the Northeast and wherever else where there's crazy weather and work is closed. So maybe you're in your robe and you're kind of like, I'm just going to chill and relax and be grateful that my day just changed because nature. So anyway, here we are, lesson 19. Today, we are going to continue talking about what we were talking about yesterday, and it gets a little bit deeper. I did end up having some fun with the lessons yesterday, and I live in Central Florida, and I got to go see Michael Singer last night at the Temple of the Universe. And if you're anywhere near Gainesville, Florida, for the area for a visit, or if you live there, I definitely recommend checking it out. They have free yoga at 6 p.m., and Michael Singer comes and starts chanting at 8:15 and begins talking at 8:30 p.m. on Mondays and Thursday evenings. And I just had the wonderful, great pleasure to be in his presence and be in the presence of all of the devoted students of his and just visitors who come from all over the world to spend time with him. And he talked about just the idea that you don't have to be a renunciate to be spiritual. And I think what he was saying really fits into how I view the Course in Miracles lessons in such a way that it's applied to your life, your daily life, not your morning spiritual practice, your morning green juice and sitting in your robe and reading your lesson, which is beautiful and lovely. And if that's when you do your thing, do your thing. But then you take this philosophy out into the world, and you don't have to just be in your little cave of privacy as you're evolving and learning and growing. In fact, I think it's impossible because like when you're interacting with other people, how well you're doing on your spiritual practice. That's the best way, because you find these people and they are your teachers, especially the ones that get under your skin. So let's get into lesson number 19. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. The idea for today is obviously the reason why your seeing does not affect you alone. You will notice that at times the ideas related to thinking precede those related to perceiving, while at other times the order is reversed. The reason is that the order does not matter. Thinking and its results are really simultaneous, for cause and effect are never separate. Today, we are again emphasizing the fact that minds are joined. This is rarely a wholly welcome idea at first, since it seems to carry with it an enormous sense of responsibility and may even be regarded as an invasion of privacy. Yet it is a fact that there are no private thoughts. Despite your initial resistance to this idea, you will yet understand that it must be true if salvation is possible at all. And salvation must be possible because it is the will of God. Will with a capital W. The minute or so of mind searching which today's exercises require is to be undertaken with eyes closed. The idea for today is to be repeated first, and then the mind should be carefully searched for the thoughts it contains at that time. As you consider each one, name it in terms of the central person or theme it contains, and holding it in your mind as you do so, say. Now, I'm actually going to talk about something that occurred to me when I was at the Temple of the Universe last night while Michael Singer was talking. Okay, so I get to be his guru for just a quick second, or maybe mine, whatever. All right. So I'm going to close my eyes. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of this thought about Michael Singer answering a question when someone said, they loved him and thank you. And his reply was, I am nothing. I didn't like that. So there's my thought that's coming up to me. It's the first thing I thought about this morning when he said, I am nothing, which I understand why he's saying it. And it makes sense. And I know it's my work because it bothered me. It's just something that showed up, okay? So that's how this works. You just pick the thing out of your mind, probably the thing that woke you up this morning, that thought, and put that in the blank. All right, the requirement of as much indiscriminateness as possible in selecting subjects for the practice periods should be quite familiar to you by now, and will no longer be repeated each day, although it will occasionally be included as a reminder. Do not forget, however, that random selection of subjects for all practice periods remains essential throughout. Lack of order in this connection will ultimately make the recognition of lack of order in miracles meaningful for you. All right, I'm going to read that again. Lack of order in this connection will ultimately make the recognition of lack of order in miracles meaningful for you. God, that's hard to read. So what it's saying is the lack of order between the thought that comes in and your perception. Like it's sort of the cause and effect, but yet there really is no time separation between those two things. So the more that we realize that, and we don't try to break it down and deconstruct every part of this process, the easier it will be for the miracle to happen, because we're surrendering, we're trusting, and we're asking Jesus and the Holy Spirit to correct those misunderstandings that are in our mind about how things work. I mean, frankly, we really don't even know how things work, but as we start to understand it, I think some of us have this tendency to be intellectually hung up on the process. Well, what do I say first? What do I do first? What happens first? It sounds like it doesn't matter. As long as we're committing to this, understanding our minds, healing the errors that exist so that we can really step into that blissful experience of this incarnation that's really waiting for us. Apart from the as-needed application of today's idea, at least 3 practice periods are required, shortening the length of time involved if necessary. Do not attempt more than 4. All right, so at least 3, but no more than 4. All right, lesson 19. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I hope this was helpful for you today. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're having a snow day, enjoy it. Hopefully that gives you a chance to dive deeper into your spiritual practice and just love yourself, be with yourself, embrace the opportunity to have a different day if that's what's laid out for you. And have a good one. I'll see you back here again tomorrow.